What do I eat if I want to stay younger for longer? Which foods would help me increase my vitality? Today, we'll talk about the top 7 foods that increase vitality and preserve youthfulness. Trust me, it took me years to get this list to just 7 foods out of the thousands of foods we have available to us to eat. And believe me, they are all based on deep science and metabolic research and experimentation. At the end of this podcast, not only you will know which foods to integrate into your lifestyle, but you could immediately eat in a way that preserve your youth and increase your vitality without drastic changes to your diet. This is very important, without drastic changes to your diet. Stick with me because I promise a bonus at the end. I'm Rimon. I was lucky enough to lose my health at a young age. When I regained my health, I realized my happiness, success, joy, and even financial security are all connected to my body, far beyond what I was led to believe. With a burning desire to never, ever lose my health again, I started a journey. And after 13 years of metabolic research, hundreds of self-experiments and blunders, today, I implement strategies that change my life and the lives of people around me. These are vitality, youthfulness preservation, and wellness strategies. I created Health and Vitality Made Simple podcast to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're an open-minded person and an action taker who's looking to keep your body young, your mind sharp, your strength high, and vitality up, you are in the right place. And remember, the information and steps are not medical advice and may not suit your individual circumstances, such as allergies or medications. For more, go to rimonwellness.com. Now, let's get started. Is that true that different people need different diets? Yes. Is that true that we can use different foods as tools to achieve specific targeted results in different times in our lives? Absolutely. But is that true that there are certain foods that are extremely healthy for everyone all year round? Yes. Today, I would like to share with you the 7 foods that I believe are great and healthiest for everyone all the time. The beauty with those foods is that if you just forget about dieting, supplements, wellness protocols, and just integrate those foods, your overall health and wellness will improve. The more you could replace these foods with other foods, the more your health will go in the right direction without a complicated diet or strict regimen. But what makes those foods so healthy and special? Many times we read articles about healthy foods, quote unquote, but the writers don't explain how did they determine the quality of the food being healthy. How do you actually determine what makes a food to be, quote unquote, healthy? First, you need to decide what are the parameters of health. And then you rank all the foods with those parameters, and then you go to tell me the top of the list, regardless of the morality behind the production of the food, which I disregard here in this podcast. So what I did is to rank these foods on the 5 values that I think are the most important to health and wellness. And I'm going to explain now each and every one of these parameters so you will understand where I'm coming from. The first one is vitality and energy. If a food gives you more energy and it makes you feel more vital, it's healthy for you. Vitality even makes you feel good, which is making you happy. The second parameter for health is gut health and the impact on a strong immune system. Our gut and the health of our gut and the strength of our gut is so crucial to our overall health, so it had to be one of the parameters of health. Think about your body as a country and your gut as the borders of that country. For example, your gut gives you protection against bacteria, viruses, toxins, and allows you to bring good nutrition inside. The third parameter is nourishment. What is nourishment? It's providing your body the stuff your body needs to build other things or tools in order to function. So your body needs you to provide it with building blocks and material so it can use the information in your genes and use that material you give it to build tools and technology that makes you healthy. Most foods are low on nutrition. The 7 foods that I'm going to discuss are very high on nutrition, and they nourish the body, almost like milk nourishing a baby. The 4th parameter is toxicity in food. All food come with toxicity. When we digest foods, it means our bodies sort out the bad stuff and take in the good stuff. That's why every food you eat first go through the liver to make sure the toxins stay out. And you can imagine that toxins are not good for your body. They're not healthy. But not all foods have the same levels of toxins. I put low toxicity in my calculations of healthy foods. Healthy food doesn't load the body with toxins. Healthy food doesn't load the body with toxins, and thus is healthy for us. The 5th and last parameter is youthfulness preservation. Wouldn't you want to stay young and youthful for longer? How about looking older? Would you want that? With time, we age, and as we age, we lose gradually our health. Diseases increases too. However, the food we eat undoubtedly impact the pace, the rate at which we age, regardless of time passing by. Some foods activate youthfulness preservation mechanisms in our bodies, while other foods turn them off. And since I invested more than a decade studying all the mechanisms in our body that control and impact aging, I can tell you exactly which foods rank higher or lower in this parameter. So now we cleared the health parameter, on which I ranked those foods. Now let's go to the 7 foods that rank the highest on the list. Are you ready? First one is fatty fruits. Fatty fruits are an exclusive list of just 3 fruits: avocados, olives, and coconuts, and their oils: olive oil and coconut oil. Sure, they are high in calories, but perfect for all the 5 parameters I spoke before. They are easy to digest, they increase vitality, they don't have sugar that turns off youthful genes, and all fatty fruits help in digestive health, and they are low in toxins. They are just perfect for human metabolism. Let's throw a word for each one. Coconut has an MCT oil that boosts brain function. Then, coconut has ingredients that help the immune system fight infections. And coconut oil helps the body raise energy, so it helps in vitality. Olives and olive oil have nutrients that activate youthfulness preservation mechanisms in our bodies. It keeps you young. And avocado has healthy fats, and it nourishes the gut. It's no secret that avocado is good for you. The next food is lightly cooked, free-range eggs. Eggs, when properly cooked, won't raise your cholesterol levels, because 80% of our blood cholesterol doesn't come at all from the food we eat, but it's the liver that makes the cholesterol regardless of what you eat. Now, eggs are very high on nutrition. They are low in toxins, they are relatively easy to digest, and they contain no sugar that turns off youthfulness mechanisms. Dr. Ron Rosedale, which I highly appreciate, said that nature has put into the egg all the best nutrients to form a new life and give it a head start. The egg's yolk, the yellow part, provides building blocks and tools for our brain. These nutrients could lead to better performance and vitality. What about the egg's white? The egg's white, after being cooked, contain a complete protein that helps the body repair different tissues in all the body. Why did I say free-range eggs? Free-range eggs are more nourishing. I also stressed lightly cooked. The key is avoiding overcooking eggs, which destroys the nutrients inside the egg and oxidizes the cholesterol. When you cook and oxidize the cholesterol in the eggs, then it truly becomes bad for you. Healthy ways to cook eggs are sunny side up, poached eggs, and minimally heated hard-boiled eggs. Next, the third food is low-toxin, nourishing vegetables. Generally speaking, vegetables are good for you. It's no secret, right? But why? Our bodies do not digest them, but it's the bacteria in our gut that do it. They do the heavy lifting of digestion. As these bacteria digest the vegetables, they produce vitamins our body needs. All in all, the process makes vegetables pure nutrition for little effort. They are easy to digest, save energy, all in all gives you vitality. That's why we don't feel tired after eating a salad. Then, vegetables tend to be very low in sugar, which turns off youthful genes in your body. But not all vegetables created equal. Some vegetables are more nourishing and others have more toxins. Those toxins in vegetables are there by design. These vegetable toxins are there to protect the plant from being eaten by animals. So you want to eat vegetables that are low in those toxins. Then, nourishment. The most nourishing vegetables are those with a nutrient called soluble fiber, which is really a type of fiber that you can digest and it helps the gut. I'm reminding that gut health is very important. The vegetables that are highest on nutrition and lowest on toxins are leafy greens, the cruciferous vegetables, and the chicory family. For example, radish, bok choy, collard greens, spinach, and kale are all high on nutrition and low on toxins. Now, if you're like me, you want to go even further and select the best of the best, the cream of the crop, crème de la crème. This is important because if you're multitasking, get back to me. The healthiest vegetables are the cruciferous group: cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, bok choy. Why? Well, first, they have a nourishing type of fiber, which really makes your gut feel good, which is different than the fiber, for example, in whole grains. They are very low in toxins. They give a lot to your body, yet they take very little. And most importantly, they contain a special nutrient that activates our youthfulness genes. Activate our youthfulness genes, imagine that. But there is a special trick when eating them. If you do this, you will increase about 5 times the special nutrient that activates the youthfulness genes. You'll get 5 times more benefit for the same buck. Before I'll talk about this trick, I recommend soaking vegetables for 10 to 12 minutes in a baking soda. It has been proven to remove most of the pesticides they spray on our foods. Now, let's go to the main dish, the secret. It's a trick Dr. Rhonda Patrick brought to my attention, so I owe her big time. But I went to the research, apologized that you always double check people, and she was absolutely right. It's so simple. Here it is. After you cook the cruciferous vegetables, you can bake them, fry them, boil them. Sprinkle fresh mustard powder on top of them. Don't confuse it with mustard sauce. Mustard powder. They crush the mustard seeds and you get a powder. How much? 1/3 of a teaspoon on your vegetables is enough. But you can go higher than that, I usually do, and it adds a spicy taste to it. Make sure you sprinkle it before eating. Don't sprinkle it and let it sit in the fridge for a day, because within an hour it will lose effectiveness. So that's the trick. The fourth superfood is soaked and low-heat dehydrated nuts. Most plants we eat grow on land that is deprived of nutrition. Yet, nuts grow on gigantic trees with deep roots that suck minerals and nutrition deep from the soil. Those trees give their little children, the nuts, a lot of nutrition, which you get when you eat them. Nuts are great. They are low on sugar, high on minerals, and provide healthy fats. However, they are difficult to digest. Think about a time where you binged on nuts, when you ate more than you should. Do you remember how you felt afterward? Tired. You wanted to sleep. It's because nature designed nuts to resist breaking down until it's a good time to grow and become a new tree. Soaking them before you eat them with a bit of salt for several hours will do the job and fool the seed, the nut, to think it's time to make a new tree, when it's really time to eat them. Personally, I see tremendous difference in how I feel after eating soaked nuts versus unsoaked raw nuts. After soaking, dehydrate them on low heat, 50 to 60 degrees centigrade or Celsius. This low heat will make sure the heat won't destroy the nutrients in the nuts. The best nuts are macadamia nuts, pecan, Brazil, walnuts, almonds, and hazelnuts, which has a smell that is similar to the Nutella chocolate. And to clarify, peanuts and cashews are not nuts, but legumes and seeds, so they did not make this list. The fifth food is homemade yogurt with 12 plus hours of fermentation. Is yogurt good for you? It depends which kind. The yogurt you see in supermarkets, not even close to be on my list. But homemade yogurt? There is no doubt. And believe it or not, it actually tastes better. Homemade yogurt is very healthy. It's nourishing and pre-digested by bacteria. Your body doesn't do the heavy lifting, the bacteria does. They digest it for you. The bacteria also eat the sugar and produce vitamins that nourishes the body. Also, homemade yogurt helps the gut. As the bacteria grow in the process of making the yogurt, the bacteria themselves will nourish your gut and fight bad bugs. But similar to nuts, you need to do some home preparation, which shouldn't take more than 30 minutes per week's worth of yogurt. You make homemade yogurt with the following steps. First, you buy bacteria quote-unquote starter, which is a frozen healthy bacteria. Then you heat the milk up to wake up the bacteria, which you put inside and let them do the miracle. If you want to automate the process, like I do in my house, you can put the milk with the bacteria in an incubator called Yogurt Maker that keeps the temperature consistent and gives you the exact indication when the yogurt is ready. You put it in the fridge and serve cold. The taste is better than what you would think. The next food is sardines and anchovies with olive oil, but from a quality brand. Similar question. Is fish good for you? Similar answer. It depends on which kind of fish. A few years ago, I drove to a farmer who claimed to grow organic fish. When I got there, I saw this farmer feeding the fish with quote-unquote organic cereal. I'm sorry, I told him, that's not organic. Fish don't live in pools and eat cereal in nature. So what is organic fish? It's a fish that is taken out of the ocean after feeding on its natural, high omega-3 diet. You might have heard about omega-3 and how good it is for your heart. It is. The fish get this omega-3 from the seaweed they eat at the bottom of the ocean. However, most of the fish we eat, such as tuna or salmon, isn't organic. The farmers grow them in pools and feed them with sometimes processed foods. But sardines and anchovies are truly organic. These tiny fish are taken right off the ocean where they fed on their natural diet. We also heard about fish toxicity. We humans like to throw into the ocean all the garbage we make, thinking the toxins won't come home to roost. Well, they do with the fish we eat. And we feed those fish into farmed fish as well, which we eat too. But sardines and anchovies do not have this problem. I've heard a doctor who used to measure fish toxicity in people, and he could tell you exactly, immediately, how much fish you usually eat. But he couldn't tell if a person was eating a lot of anchovies and sardines because they are so low on toxins. So they are simply undetected in the blood. I recommend you eat the whole fish with the bones, because it bombards your body with bones-building minerals. And these fish nourish the entire body with a complete protein. As you can understand, together with the omega-3, minerals, and complete protein, these fish are ranking very high on nourishment. Usually you can buy them in cans with olive oil. But what about the canning process? The canning itself isn't a bonus at all. But it won't negate significantly the health benefits of this food. The olive oil from the canning process adds extra health benefits, as I mentioned in the fatty fruits. When buying canned fish, I recommend you invest in quality brand. Personally, I noticed that my body reacts differently to the cheap versions of canned fish. Next, the 7th highest ranking food is whey protein, especially concentrate and unprocessed. Whey is a protein appearing in small amounts in milk. I'm not a fan of milk, which I can make a whole podcast about, but whey is a different story. As babies, our mothers nourished our bodies with it. Interestingly enough, nature put in breast milk almost 4 times more whey than the amount in cow's milk. So it's a good hint that nature views this food as particularly healthy for humans. Nature needs to protect a baby against bacteria and viruses in the first years of life in order to stay alive. So it's no coincidence that whey happened to strengthen the immune system, the good guys against the bad guys. But why did whey rank so high? Whey is pure nutrition for the body with little digestive effort. It contains no toxins. It contains almost zero sugar, which is healthy. So it helps both the gut and the immune system. But practically, what is whey? Isn't that the powder you get in shakes? Yes, you can get whey from whey protein powder for shakes or from ricotta cheese, but the subtype they make with whey. I would not drink milk to get it. And if I buy the powder, I would make sure it's whey concentrate, unsweetened and unprocessed. Do not buy the processed whey they sell in most health food stores. When can we eat whey? Practically, it's great for nourishing the body after exercise or in refreshing shakes. It will taste good if you make a blend shake with other foods with it. For example, you can blend avocado from the fatty fruit category with whey. I've done it and I can tell you it tastes delicious. So we finished the 7 foods, but I have an 8th food as a bonus. Grass-fed organic butter. Butter? Are you kidding me? Isn't that saturated fat? Yes, butter has a lot of saturated fat, but there are many types of saturated fat and they don't work equally. Let me explain. When you think about fat, what comes to your mind? Most people think about that ugly, saggy thing encapsulated right under our skin. It's the fat our body uses for storage of energy to burn in the future. However, fat has another little-known role. It's a building block. It can build our bodies, our brains, nervous system, the bone marrow, which is the fat inside your bones, our hormones, and even internal organs, all built with fat and require fat to repair themselves. Fat that helps our body build those tissues is quote-unquote building fat. So think as fat as storage fat and building fat. What is the fat that you get when you eat red meat? It's a storage fat, the exact one that is ugly and saggy. And it's high in toxins. What is the fat in butter? It's a fat that nature puts in milk to help a baby develop and grow. It's a building fat that tends to be low in toxins because nature doesn't want to poison a newborn. And what do you know? Scientists show that eating fat from meat increases diabetes, but fat from butter reduces it. Obviously, butter works differently. So butter, especially if grass-fed and organic, is good for you. It has no sugar, it nourishes the body with building fat, and if it's grass-fed or organic, it's low on toxins and high on nutrition. Grass-fed butter, compared to regular butter, has more vitamin D, vitamin A, butyric acid. This specially fatty acid supports the digestive system. Butter, only from grass-fed cows, has CLA, a type of fat that fights cancer, builds muscles, and boosts immunity. Grass-fed butter has more vitamin E, an anti-inflammatory vitamin that speeds wound healing, promotes skin's health, and enhances immunity, and even may protect against a host of illnesses. Grass-fed butter also has lauric acid, a unique fat that boosts our body's immune system to fend off yeast and other infections. And only grass-fed butter has an important vitamin called vitamin K2. So yes, grass-fed organic butter is healthy. Now that we completed the 8 foods, I have a challenge for you. how can you integrate those 8 foods in a way that replaces other foods you eat? Food replacement, as opposed to dieting, is a simple strategy that takes unhealthy and low-ranking foods with super healthy, high-ranking foods, all while giving you the freedom to decide in what way and how to eat them. So here is a challenge for you. Can you gradually integrate and replace those foods until they make up 60 or maybe 70% of your diet within the next month? Give yourself 30 days to do it. Find the right taste, find the right recipes for you, but go ahead and do it. Let's see if you can make it. So that's it for today, and I hope you liked this podcast. If you want to read more of my material, I've just released my new website. It's called rimonwellness.com. RIMONWELLNESS.com. So thank you for listening and have a happy and healthy 30 days from today. Goodbye.